It's important that we understand as real estate professionals that there are different career paths within real estate that agents aspire to. I make the mistake of assuming that every single agent I talk to wants to be number one, wants to make $5 million a year, and wants to light the world on fire, and that's just not the reality. And I love when agents have that mentality that I want to be number one, and I want to make a ton of money, and they have that drive. But there's a lot of people out there that choose a real estate career because they choose it for their lifestyle. That making a couple $100 grand a year and having an easier lifestyle, and a lifestyle on their own terms, there's nothing wrong with that at all. In fact, that's awesome, because real estate can get you that lifestyle. Now, I do believe you still have to work hard in the beginning for several years to build that book of business that can give you that annuity of commissions to have the lifestyle that you want. But if that is the goal, is look, I don't want to work weekends even though I'm in real estate, and I want to work at my leisure, that's great. We still have to do certain things, though, to be successful as professionals. And to those people, I say, good by you. You know, if you're choosing real estate as maybe a part-time profession, or a profession where, look, I want to get in real estate, but I don't want to work 50 hours a week, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Just know that you have to work hard, and it takes a little bit of time to get there. It could take 3, 4, 5 years, but after 5 years, now you got 100 people in your book, you get 10 referrals a year, and you make your 150, 200 grand, and you're working 20, 25 hours a week. If that is what you're hoping for, then get there. Nothing wrong with that. But to the agents that do want to light the world on fire, the ones that have the drive, motivation, determination, that want to be number one, that year over year over year, they want to close more deals, and they want to then start a team and leverage other agents and really build something special, I say to you that you have to be prepared to work extremely hard. It is a really tough business, but the brick by brick, the year by year, it actually does get easier. In fact, the first 3 years in real estate are the hardest 3 years you should have. Those that get through year 3 and have closed, say, 60, 70 transactions, 80 transactions, you're in for an awesome career. Because at that point, you're now getting enough referrals from your previous book of business and bringing in new deals. You got money coming in so you can spend some money. You might have a buyer's agent. Like, you're on your way to getting to that next level. And one of the mistakes that happen, though, is people say they want to make a lot of money. And then they start to make a lot of money. And what I find is a lot of agents then say, but I'm working myself to the ground. I'm so burnt. I'm tired. Well, I want to be very clear with you. Those two things do not go hand in hand. You can't make more and more and more and more money and work less and less and less and less. They don't equal each other. If you want to continue, if you want to go from 200 to 500 to $1 million to $2 million to $3 million to $4 million a year in income, you can do that. But you're going to have to keep working hard. It doesn't just come. It doesn't just fall in your lap. And I find that as people start making money, they say, yeah, but I'm working so hard to make it. That's what you're supposed to do. That's how you've made it, by working hard. But you're burnt, so I don't want to work as hard anymore. Well, then your income's probably going to suffer a bit. I mean, it's all a reflection. Now, as we're building and making money and setting up our business, just know this. The gap of money from year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, as you go from 100 to 150 to 150 to 200, if you're building systems for scalability to create leverage, if you're doing it the right way when you're working on the business, the money can start to explode. Meaning that year 1 to year 2, while you're just getting off the ground or you're getting back into the business, that difference usually isn't substantial. Like, you could go from making 100 grand your first year to making 200 grand the second year. That's conceivable. But you're not going to go from 100 grand to $1 million. That's not going to happen. You can get to $1 million, but that gap there isn't significant. But what happens is, Once you have a nice system built, a workflow, process, how things work functionally. When I get a new listing, it goes into here, and then you bring on a couple more agents. They follow your protocol, your process. They're working on your listings. They're working buyers for you. When you get to that point in your career, you can go from 400 grand to $1 million within a time frame. You could go from 400 to $1.5 million because you're creating an assembly line of commissions, an assembly line of deals. So just know that by working on the business in these first several years, what you're really working on is the flow and process for the future. So at that critical point, you can see a substantial increase in your income within 1 year given time. But you gotta work your way through the first 1, 2 to 3 years. But remember, I have zero empathy, zero, and I'm unapologetic with it. I don't wanna hear people bitch that when they were making 100 grand and now they're making $1 million, but now they feel like they just have no time at all and they're so burnt out and they're so this and that. Well, guess what? It was the hard work that got you there. But if you want to continue to be there and make even more, then the hard work can't cease to exist. You know? Then agents get lazy and not working weekends anymore, or they work a half day on Saturday and they take Sundays off. That's great. But you're not going to continue to make more and more money. You can still make a great living because you've established a great book of business, but people that start out and say, I want to make $1 million, and then all of a sudden say, yeah, I'm making $1 million, but I'm working my butt off. Well, no shit. What do you think? It's not easy to make $1 million. It's not. We take it for granted. People that are making $250,000, $350,000 a year in real estate, selling 20 houses a year, and having the lifestyle to be your own boss. That's a lot of money. Most people don't make $300,000 a year. Be grateful for that. But also understand too, not everybody wants to light the world on fire, and I get that. So if real estate becomes a lifestyle career for you, fantastic. But just know that the more you work on building it, the more you work on your process, the better lifestyle you'll have, because it ultimately may run itself for you. So decide. And for those that want to be number one and want to put the effort in and make the 7-figure income, start setting realistic goals for yourself. Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, but be realistic with it. If you did 20 transactions last year, to think you're going to do 100 this year is unrealistic. But if you can go from 20 to 35, that's a hell of a year. It's a 75% increase in your business. That's fantastic. Imagine if you did that year over year over year over year. Within 4 years, you'd be doing 100 transactions a year. So be realistic with your goals. And also remember one important thing too. Be transactional. Do not think about the volume. Do not think about the one big commission check. Pick up your spares and strikes will come. Being transactional in this business is far more important than worrying about grabbing a $2 million sale or a $3 million sale. The more people you can work with, the more people that can refer to you. That is the holy grail of real estate, the book of business, so I don't have to go chase more business. It just simply comes to me.